everybody, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So this battle report is related to the previous video that I just posted like yesterday, a couple of days ago, depending when I'm going to release this one. But basically, strongly recommend you to watch the previous video if you are interested about this matchup. I did a deep analysis on that, not something that I have the time to do a lot, but I like to do it in advance when I have a lot of time for a game that has a bit more importance. So that's what I try to do for this one. Focus a lot about how I would react or act if I can force my opponent to drop for first turn and so on. So we'll see how the game goes, if my prediction were correct. And it's definitely going to be interesting for those of you that watched the previous video. So you should already know both lists if you watch the video. So these are both lists. He made a small adjustment, basically switching the Crown of the Wizard King for the bounce spell that allow him to raise, and he also changed something slightly, like he added, I think, a lucky charm with the point left. So basically it's less impactful divination or less range on divination, so -3, but in exchange for that he has better raise basically. We are playing a breakthrough and marching column, and below you have the spell selection. My opponent elected to give me an additional spell on the Lamassu. I picked Flaming Sword, Wall of Iron, Hereditary. The three obvious choice for occultism were Rot Within, the Breath, and obviously Mark for Doom, which is my best spell. And then the last spell was a bit of a debate. Do I take the ward save, or for example spell number 6 to try to do some damage on Necropolis, or basically threaten the Pharaoh if he wants to move alone, then he could be killed by a Gravecall. So basically that's why I picked the spell. On his side, nothing surprising, the Fate Judgment and Unyielding Strike that are really strong against Kadim Titan. And then 4 boost spell plus the raise spell. So I talked already about the matchup analysis, but basically I can talk a bit more about the rating. So I put it in the matrix as an equal. Before that, first I put it, my first feeling was a negative matchup. I felt the fact that if it's a frontal fight, it could get tense, it could get complicated to manage the Pharaoh, all those things, all of that together. And after discussing with some of our player, I moved it to an equal. So we'll see how the match goes and which matchup estimation was the more accurate. So this is how went the deployment. I spent a lot of time to basically think about what I would do if he would start to deploy. And basically here I won the roll for side, and he made me start to deploy. So I should have maybe spent more time on that. But I think this case was... The reason why I didn't talk too much about that in the preparation video is because I knew exactly what I'm going to do in case this happened, which is basically a strong half of the table, which is what I did, and using the impossible against him. So pretty straightforward here. I put 3 anointed on the left. He elected to deploy the Dread Sphinx on the far left, which basically forced me to drop something else than the Kadim Titan, because it's the best counter for the Kadim Titan. So I put the big block of Blunderbuss with the Flaming Standard. I felt reroll to wound, lot of wounds, lot of attacks, could be annoying for him. After that, his second drop was Fast Cavalry here behind that just vanguarded here. My third drop was the Anointed Star, basically. Then he put another Sphinx, and then I dropped for first turn, placing the Lamassu Commissioner here, BSB. The level 4 is somewhere here in the corner. Then here I have the Bastion unit, Slaves, because I expected his infantry to be over there and to have to chaff them. The Giant, and on the far right I dropped the Titan. Failed basically what could be key. I expected somehow to be his divination in the middle of the board. So if I threaten from the right and he wants to push from the left, basically it could be complicated for him to get both the range to boost, which is 18 or 21, and the range to blast, which is 21 only. So I felt this is the way for the Titan to get in good zone to be threatening, to have an impact on the game and not get killed by 2 magic missiles. And then he dropped the Necropolis Guard here with the Pharaoh and the BSB. In the back, the Mage Bunker with General and the 2 mages. Then the big block of Skellies. And here on the far right, the second normal Sphinx, so Battle Sphinx. Let's move on to my turn 1. So push hard the Titan on the right, which was expected. Just left him a long charge. I cover all the angle that he cannot escape my line of sight. Push a bit the giant, push a bit the rest forward, but not too much. Respected some of the placement. I made sure that my anointed would see the Sphinx no matter where he moves. And I didn't want to get trapped on those guys, so I didn't move much. But basically that's it, getting into magic range to those Sphinxes, trying to do some wounds. In the first turn, I got, I don't remember which card, but 4 dice on Mark for Doom on the Dread Sphinx, which was dispelled by my opponent with all his dice. Left me with 4 dice, I 2 dice breast weapon. The only model I had in range was the first Sphinx. I managed to do 2 wounds with that, which was really nice. And then I also got Hereditary on the Dread Sphinx, so I got reroll 2 wounds here, activated with an incendiary token, and here I got 2 wounds of magic, which is quite a good start. This turn 1, push hard forward, use relentless on those guys, march those guys 8 forward, move those guys forward, move the Sphinx in a position just to cover the angle. Everything here is in the front, so no matter where I would charge, it would be in the front. Start to use Impassable and Board Edge with the 2 Sphinx, but still far away from me. Hide his fast cap for the moment, you might need them a bit later, it's his only chaff. In the magic phase, he got our target distracting on the Necropolis Guard, just in case I would try to charge him, for example, with the Anointed. I let that go, then I dispel Hereditary, trying to heal the Sphinx, and then he failed the 3rd spell. With shooting, I passed two saves, I think, on the Bastion, which has a 3-up. My turn 2, activated my chaff, move a bit forward with the Bastion to be in shooting range. He has hard target, but I can still manage to do some wounds, which is nice. I elected to take a bait. I made some calculation, and I felt the battle between Battle Sphinx and the Kadim Titan. With me having a Binding Scroll, basically I can Binding Scroll reroll to wound, I can dispel reroll to hit divine attack, and after that basically he has only 1 reroll to hit, which is not that much. It can be distracting, I don't care too much because I've grind attack, and with all of that combined I should be able to do some wounds round 1 and get something close to a tie. And then round 2 potentially kill him. So I felt the trade-off would be nice, and if he doesn't act right away and decide to move away or something like that, he cannot escape the line of sight here, which is a good zone for him, so he has to go top, which is completely out of the game. And basically I would be in a position to charge the Skellies or even threaten his bunker here in the back, so he needs to act fast. And I positioned the giant also to be threatening, but out of charge range or only on double 6. But basically that was it, to be threatening for all the infantry unit. Move the Lamassu in the back to basically zone some of the positioning of his ambushing unit. As you will see, not great. First of all, I forgot a bit that he can ambush where he wants. And second of all, I think the right movement would have been to move the Lamassu right here to basically be in potential range of Hereditary on these things to add another threat from the magic phase. So I think here that could have been slightly better made. In the magic phase, I tried to get again a Mark for Doom on the Sphinx, this time on this one because there's only 3 wounds left, so I have 1 chance over 3 to kill him, but obviously my opponent dispelled that. I tried to 2 dice breast weapon, but I failed the cast, and then I got a boosted Rot Within on the Necropolis Guard, which is nice, and I also got an Hereditary. I think I had a big card on the other Sphinx, so I got 2 incendiary token on those 2 guys, which might be helpful. Nothing else for me. Shooting, I managed to roll 0 6s from hitting, so I got basically nothing on them. His turn. He double charged my chaff unit. As you can see, I sacrificed some of them in magic, so double charge here. He charged my Kadim Titan, so he took the bait. We will see how that goes. And he pushed straight with the 2 Sphinx, plus got into very sweet spot just out of my line of sight, out of 1 inch. So basically something that I should have really avoided. Wasn't too complicated to do. So a bit disappointed about what I did here with Lamassu. So basically this unit is trapped. He uses perfectly what single models are good at, which is basically abusing from some positioning to make charge hard. For example, if I charge with this very expensive unit into this guy, that would be only 1 guy in contact, and the same for them charging here, it's only 2 in contact against the Drench Sphinx, which is very complicated for them. So basically not great what's happening on the left. I need to get rid of a Sphinx quickly, and really exciting to see how that goes on the right, because it can go both ways, and if I have a free Kadim Titan in 2 rounds of combat, that could be really nice. Obviously low likelihood that I one-shot him, but if that happens, that's basically a huge moment, because you can see the distance here is really short. I was a bit surprised that he didn't took some, how could I say, some damage mitigation movement, just in case everything goes back, that this distance is a bit longer maybe. But nevertheless, I think the likelihood that I go through a Sphinx in one go without reroll to wound is pretty small. So I think not so problem. It's just the potential risk of the free pivot charging here, just way too much. That's just why I'm mentioning that, but the likelihood is really, really low. In the magic phase, what happens? So I Binding Scroll, reroll to wound. That's the plan. He got also the big card. So I'm going to keep my 7 dice for reroll to hit Divine Attack. He got Distracting on 3 dice on the Sphinx. I let that go because I don't care too much. Then he 4 dice reroll to hit Divine Attack on the same Sphinx. I use my 7 dice to basically dispel this one. And I roll really, really low. Basically, he got the spell in with 4 dice against 7. So, and to make things worth, on 7 dice, I only fizzle once, and he still had 2 dice left, and he managed to get reroll to hit on the Necropolis here. So, yeah, not going as expected. We will see how goes close combat. He killed 2 guys from shooting, failing a couple of 3+ armor save, and this is close combat. So this is the stats that the Sphinx, what he should do without reroll to hit Divine Attack. So as you can see, it's like 1 wound, not that much. If he gets the other reroll to hit from Evocation, obviously slightly more. Divination, Divine Attack, it's worth for me. On average, he should do 3 wounds. I made a mistake. He did, instead of 3, he did 4. Slightly above average. He did nothing from the breast weapon, which is flaming, and wounds on 6 up. And on my side, I did 2 from the grinding and nothing from my attack. He was distracting, obviously. So basically, he got 4 plus a charge, which is 5. I got only 2, losing by 3. I had 3 wounds left. I failed the check on 3, and basically the Canine Titan popped, which is, I felt a bit unfortunate. Obviously, I could have made my life easier by basically telling him last round, yeah, the Lamassu is somewhere here looking on the left, and just telling him, okay, if you dispel Mark for Doom, I get Hereditary, or if you, yeah, basically something like that. So he had to make a choice, and then I would have had the chance to get Mark for Doom on the Sphinx. So basically, not too happy about my choices, and I got heavily punished for the mistake of not placing the Lamassu within 36 of the Sphinx. And now I'm a Canine Titan down, and this almost healthy Sphinx is ready to push on the flank. And as you can see, I don't have much to push him. What went a bit better is he in the middle, in the process of killing me, he gets very close to me. As you can see, he needs to nudge a bit and so on, so he got close to each other. And I have a very juicy charge on my round. I can basically get the Bastion automatic, potentially the Giant on the 3, and those guys on the 7 rollable onto the Necropolis. The Giant, if he has to go or not, we can discuss about that, but those 2 together against the Necropolis, I think I killed them, and then I have potentially an overrun here, no Pharaoh anymore, no BSB anymore, and so on. It's only then 3 Sphinx against my army. So I felt huge opportunity. I think it's the time of the game, and I failed the charge, which is a likelihood of 3.6%. So yeah, not too happy about that. I got solo Bastion plus the Giant. Luckily for me, I thought about the fact that it's going to be tense, and I moved out my BSB a round before, so at least the BSB is not trapped in combat. But as you can see, I could have placed basically the Bastion in contact with the Pharaoh, who doesn't get multi-wound against that, so definitely the charge Giant is completely stupid, because he can multi-wound the Giant. And I would have got the crush attack on the Pharaoh, and all the combat result from the Bastion, which is a charge, 4 rank, a banner, standard bearer, plus all the combat result from impact hit and the anointed, and I think plus a magic phase. And I think that's it for the Necropolis. And as you can see, the distance here is not that big for a Swift Ride unit, 7, 8 maybe. If I get that in, then on the overrun, I mean, that's game here. So huge moment. I failed the charge, and I made the bad decision to charge the Giant in. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, not so looking good at the moment. I debated a bit whether or not I should charge those guys into the first Sphinx. He has an Incendiary token. I have Strength 5, Hold, Attack, a reroll to Wound, hitting on 4+. What I was afraid of is if I charge here, basically I really wanted to buff this combat, which is game breaking, and I felt I'm not going to be able to buff this one, and it's like a 40% chance of killing the Sphinx overrunning into the flank of the second one. And I was a bit afraid that it wouldn't work. We will see if it was the right decision or not. I moved my mage here also out of the unit. The fact also that I didn't want to charge into this combat was the fact that my level 4 was in the big brick, meaning I would get the level 4 general in the close combat, in a risky combat, and a second monster that can counter charge. So I was a bit afraid of that. Anyway, I found a position where everything is in the front. I chaff this one. This guy can fly. He can charge what he wants. Basically this unit or this unit here in the flank, that is bodyguard. And here I move my Lamassu to chaff those guys. In the magic phase, as you can see, we see that it's looking complicated for me when you see infantry BSB and infantry mage alone, basically alone on the field. So we'll see what kind of situation I can find. But yeah, it's not looking good right now. Mark von Doom on the Sphinx. Again, a good chance, a chance at least, 33% chance of killing him. Unfortunately, I do only 1 wound. But then my shooting overperforms slightly and I do the 2 remaining wounds. So at least I kill the Battle Sphinx, which is not that bad. Let's put some stats. So as you can see, it's like a 23% chance of killing the Sphinx from the shooting. This is the stat from the close combat. So as you can see, like 40% chance of making 3 or more wounds. What I like about the charge is, even if I don't do it, it forces Dren Sphinx of choosing between charging those guys, the Lamassu, or helping close combat. So that's something I like. And the second thing that I like, if I'm engaged close combat, I can do a magic phase on the other Dren Sphinx. So I think here the right decision would have been to charge. Anyway, that's how we are here. He one-shot the Bastion. I don't know how that happened. He put as many Necropolis attack that he could. He managed to do 1 little strike and 7 wounds. And I managed to fail 7 4+ armor save. Because he's only AP1. 7 out of 7. So, okay. Against the odd again. So, a bit frustrating. The Bastion get 1 shot. Yeah, it's looking bad. I still had decent combat result, did some wounds between the giant, everything. The giant get 1 shot, obviously punished for the mistake. So basically, I'm down by 2, but I passed the check, and we'll see how that goes. His turn 3, he marches the block, marches the Sphinx, move those guys forward, charge with the Dread Sphinx against those guys that passed the terror check on a 9. Charges the Lamassu with those guys to stick him, basically, which surprised me a bit. Then he got reroll to hit on him regarding for the close combat. He got reroll to hit on the guard as well. The Lamassu in close combat did 2 wounds and it didn't crumble. Yeah, I did 2 wounds, so it was like a tie because he has a charge, 2 ranks and a standard. So I lost by 1, I guess. Is that possible? I think maybe I lost by 1, but I passed the check. And here I overperformed. I managed to do 2 wounds. Do I have something? I don't have any stat. I did 2 wounds, he did 1 wound to me. So we managed to tie, which was very surprising for a model that has strength 7. But yeah, despite his buff and so on, he didn't do that much. So I was really surprised by that. So which gives me hope, because next round I'm striking first. And I think I put later the odds of the 3 anointed against him. It's not that bad, actually. I got a chance to kill him. Yeah, here we still engage. And that's it, I think. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, on this round, he killed some of my guys. I killed 5. I broke. He ran me down, basically. On my turn, what you're missing on the picture is this unit that is deleted. Basically, he plays a long chaff unit to chaff those guys and chaff the anointed. So basically, I cannot counter charge into the necropolis. So here you see my charge with those guys against the fast cav that was in a conga formation, and those guys just move backwards. I move the BSB sideways to support this combat. Here we see stuck in combat. Here that's where he is. So I'm going to buff myself and expect for the best. And we'll see how that goes. In magic phase, I 4 dice plus 2 armor save on the anointed. My opponent lets that go, and then I 5 dice Flaming Sword on those guys against his 6 dice. He was afraid of that, and he managed to dispel it. Fortunately for him, because if I get Flaming Sword, I think I have a huge chance of killing him before he strikes. And then I have a couple of scoring unit 3 against not so much. Would be a huge turning point in the game. But I don't get the luck here. Close combat here, I do 1 wound, he do 3 wounds to me. I pass the 7 rollable check. Okay, he managed to do, as you can see, yeah, the odds of doing 3 wounds is pretty low, but 1-2 wounds, I did 1, which is not, it's the most likely event. 2 wounds like last round isn't a big scandal. I mean, it's 30% chance, so can happen. And this time I managed to do only 1 wound. He did a bit more, and I passed the 7 rollable. Worth mentioning that I managed to roll the 3 wounds, but he passes 2 6-up armor saves, so he's still there with 2 wounds left. Lamassu did 3 wounds, he crumbled a bit more, and that's it. His turn. So he debated a bit, as you can see. As you can't see, but what happened is basically here I killed the chaff and I reform 6 wide to look in the middle, basically to threaten him with a counter charge here in bodyguards. We'll see how that goes. He took a bit of time to think if he should charge with the Pharaoh, what he should do, activate the Relentless after that. He decided just to send the old brick. So that's surprising, surprised me a bit. So he goes for it. He was in a great shape, and here I think he took a bit of a risk by trying to kill the commissioner that's right here to break my bodyguard. So we'll see how that goes. Here we're still stuck. He pushes the 2 units towards the fight zone. So as you can see, all my army is like in a small, very small part of the board, except the level 4 that is going to break through on his own. Unfortunately, he isn't scoring. So we have in the magic phase, we roll to hit divine that I dispel because it's the most dangerous one. Then he gets reroll to hit, and he failed on 2 dice, reroll to wound, luckily for me. The Lamassu managed to kill another 3. The Dread Sphinx did 2 wounds to me. I did nothing to him, but I still stick with 1 guy. And the big fight, I managed to do 20 wounds to him. He focused as much as he could on the commissioner, managed only to do 2 wounds to my commissioner. And then on the unit, he did a total of 13, I think, between that, the charge, and so on. I think the total result was me 20, him 13, and then he crumbled but by another 2, but I'm still here and I can counter charge, so feeling excited. My turn 5, I counter charge in the big combat, so if everything pops here, not looking that bad. Obviously he's trying to go for the breakthrough and could be complicated. I have no chance of breaking through, so I could lose off on secondary, but maybe not on points, so that could be a small loss, which wouldn't be that bad considering what happened before. So we'll see, big hopes here. Let's move on to, I elected not to charge here. I think here the right decision would have been to charge already now. I'm going to do it turn 6, but I think it's a turn too late. In the magic phase, I got +1 armor save on the big brick, expecting to get charged by some monsters. So +1 armor save here. Getting reroll to wound on the Necropolis fight. Breast weapon on the anointed here, got dispel. And then I tried to cast all the remaining dice on Flaming Sword on him. But unfortunately, I'm not going to roll any, I think either a dispel, what happened? I think I didn't roll any of it, or a dispel, I don't know. Lamassu did another 3 wounds, crumble a bit. Here, I kill all the Necropolis. But it's not that much. I didn't manage to do much on the Pharaoh, who managed to save some wounds. I won by a bit. He didn't crumble that much and was able to split the wounds between the 2 characters. Lost 3 wounds on the Pharaoh and 2 wounds on the BSB, so he was still here after close combat result. And now he has counter charges in place. Here he just killed me, and I didn't manage to do nothing on him. I think despite Flaming Sword, I would say. And just kill me and turn around. This is the odds of the Pharaoh against my unit. Worth mentioning that the Pharaoh killed all the anointed except the commissioner. So basically, that's what he should do. As you can see, he managed to do like 8 wounds, so that's totally average. As you can see for him with multi-wound 2 against conditional AGs here, it's just insane. So his turn 5, he failed to charge here on the 9 Swift Ride, here on the 9. Luckily for me, he charged with the Dread Sphinx in my back. We'll see how that goes. Still have a chance, engaging in the flank. He didn't reform, yeah, engaging in the flank. Big flank, a lot of combat result. I have here an anointed, can maybe kill a character, has not that many wounds left, we will see. Here we still stuck in the magic phase. he got roll to hit divine, but I dispelled obviously, and then he got a heal everywhere, so he heal a wound on the BSB, heal on the Pharaoh, and also one here maybe, which is nice for him. The Lamasu did another 3 wounds, and then here close combat. I didn't roll that bad with roll 2 wounds from the Warriors. I managed to do 5 wounds, but he ward save 4 out of 5, so yeah. That's it. Killed the Commissioner. I did nothing to the Dread Sphinx, and that's looking really bad. Finally charge with the BSB, move out with the Mage. Got Hereditary on the close combat, and I 5 dice plus 2 armor save here. Try to save me. It's not going to save me. Spoiler alert. It's going to crumble stuff. I killed the Pharaoh in the meantime. Doesn't matter that much. It's going to get those points. I'm going to get those points, and that's the end of the game. And he gets a breakthrough, which is a 3-17 for my opponent. Yeah, congrats to him. I think he got, as you can see, everything except my 3 characters. So that's what I've left on the table. Post-game analysis. So the frontal configuration like we got after deployment, it's exactly what I wanted to avoid, but I had no way of avoiding it because we were playing marching column and it forced me to drop for first, despite the fact that winning the roll for side here was not nice, since the map gave me basically just a hill advantage, which didn't help me to get a 7 rerollable charge. Struggle to manage the Sphinx was obviously a problem. The Pharaoh was totally unmanageable for me. I have no way to kill him from distance because he can hide in unit. So Occultism and my shooting does nothing against him. And I have no way to kill him in close combat, or almost no way. So basically he can pick his fights, and as you can see, kill the giant, kill a lot of stuff, basically. Kill all the anointed, the commissioner, so many things. So it was just too complicated for me. Turn for turn, so turn 2. I think my move with the Kadim Titan was maybe a bit too aggressive. I could have been like near the impossible, still threatening, but a bit longer, stuff like that. I was too afraid of the magic missile, maybe, I don't know. Nevertheless, secure Hereditary to be casted. If he dispels that, I can still try to force it, and if he dispels that, I can basically get Mark for Doom for free on the Sphinx, which could change a lot. So here I think a couple of mistakes, and I paid them with a heavy price, with the Titan being popped in one go by a Battle Sphinx. Decisive Magic Phase for UD turn 2. Yeah, basically he got the reroll to hit divine on the Titan fight, which was huge with 4 dice against 7. The Necro Guards coming too close to the Anointed. I think he took a huge risk, which wasn't punished because turn 3 I failed the charge. I think the Infernal Warrior on the left should have charged the first Sphinx with the 40% chance of one-shotting him and overrunning to the Dread Sphinx flank, which basically would have been a 1 left flank and put me back in the game. So I think here should have done that. The Giant shouldn't have charged against the multi-wound 2 Pharaoh. Obviously, I missed a bit the picture that he had multi-wound 2 against me, I think. Turn 4 UD. I think he should have charged only with the Pharaoh, use the Relentless on the Necropolis, because if the character moves out before, he can still activate the Relentless afterwards and just move in front of my Infernal Warriors. Turn 5, Infernal Dwarves, counter charge compensated by the Pharaoh. Yeah, I expected him to pop. I felt this counter charge in the flank is huge. He should popped, but he didn't, because there wasn't so many Necropolis guard left for me to strike at. And despite all the static res and stuff, yeah, he reduces the crumble by so much because the BSB is alive, blah blah blah. And at the end, it wasn't enough for me to kill. So yeah, to kill him in one go, and after that I'm stuck in combat, and he gets the counter charges and get the end result by killing the whole unit. So guys, that's it for this battle report. Yeah, not an easy game for me, as you can see. Dice didn't go that much my way, but still, as I always say in my battle report, I think here the reason it's interesting to analyze it in the battle report is mainly the mistakes that I did. As you can see, I can always say, yeah, I was unlucky on that and that, but I still made good amount of mistakes, and those mistakes at the end still ended up costing me points. So that's, I think, what you need to keep in mind is basically always focus on what you can impact, on what you can change, and not on something like dice that you cannot change at all, cannot influence at all. Or you need to buy fake dice, but that's obviously harder to do with online games. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for watching the battle report. I will do some more practice. It was really nice. On a side note, we won the run against TRC, close to a cap, like 98. So my teammate did way better than I did. So quite happy about the round and the way it ended up. And we'll try to do some more of these rounds against some other countries, because I felt it's a very good way to train. And since the WTC in April is not going to take place anymore, because now they're going to be 2 WTC, but at the end of the year, which is not anymore interesting for an ETC preparation due to the yearly update and so on. Basically, I think online training might be the best way to get properly trained for ETC. So definitely something that we are trying to do more in the future. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the battle report, and I'm going to talk to you soon on another video. Bye.